What's up, everybody? Hope you're okay. I just finished a quick back workout, and I just wanted to give you guys some tips or some 3 quick thoughts basically on progress, what it is, and actually why it's important. Just some tips on basically how to manage progress better towards long-term goals. So number 1, what is progress? So progress is how we measure the changes that we make in ourselves, and we usually use them in reference to a goal. It can be long-term or short-term, okay? So why is progress important? So this is the first thing, okay? Progress is important because it shows us how far we've actually come in our journey, what changes we've made, and actually how much further we might have to go. And it's really important because it actually allows us to target specific improvements in terms of reaching our goals, which will help us get there in the most efficient way. And that's really important, okay? So the first thing to know about progress, like I said, is it's really important in terms of seeing how far you've come, how far there is to go, and being able to implement any specific improvements. So that's the first thing to note about progress. Number 2 is you should actually start recording progress as soon as possible. Because basically, as you get further and further towards a goal, it can be demotivating, and it's really important to know where you started. And also, as well, it depends on your goal, whether that's, if you're trying to lift certain weights in the gym, trying to lose a certain amount of weight, or it doesn't even have to be sport related. It could even be academic related. If you're trying to improve your score a certain amount, or you're trying to revise certain topics. If you haven't kept a good track record of the things you did in the beginning, you might find that you're not actually doing things as efficiently as possible, because now you're going to have to go over topics that you may have already gone over before because you didn't even keep track of that progress. And I know it's difficult sometimes trying to keep track of your progress, especially, I don't know, if you're using practice papers or like question banks. If you're a university student, sometimes you don't really want to keep your progress, because at the beginning, it's very demotivating. Whatever you start at, you're going to start very, at a beginning stage, regardless of your talent. Some people, they start something, they just excel instantly, but eventually one day you're going to try and start something and you are going to struggle. That's part of life. So, if you're getting really low scores, you probably don't want to document that. You feel embarrassed about that. If you're struggling to lift any weight at the gym, you're probably not going to want to record that, or just, you want to avoid that basically. But the thing is, it's really important to do that, because then you can actually see how you've began and whether your changes that you're making are actually making any difference. And the more you progress in something and the further you specialize in the field or get closer to your goal, the more you're going to wish that you had actually just started counting earlier and you just overcome that embarrassment, because it's really going to help you track your progress towards the journey of your goal. And it's also just going to help you know exactly what you've covered, what you've tried before. It really applies to anything, whether that's, revising for exams, going to the gym, starting a business, anything, So just start counting your progress as soon as you can, okay? And the last thing to know about progress, point number 3, okay, is that don't be afraid of making less amounts of progress or smaller amounts of progress over a longer period of time that's in a consistent way, as opposed to short-term progress. And this can apply to anything, whether that's business, again, all these things are just general ideas and concepts I've been thinking about. They can really apply to anything. But the easiest way to explain it is in the example of weight loss. But like I said, it can apply to anything. So for example, you can eat in a very, controlled, healthy manner and drop your weight steadily over time, okay? Or you could just say, that's it, tomorrow I'm not eating, and you would lose more weight if you did the second option in a shorter period of time. But in the long term, I'm not going to go into the science for like glycogen mobilization and everything, but in the long term, basically, you're going to gain that weight back if you follow the second way. You're unlikely to keep it off, whereas in the first way, you're more likely to actually lose more weight in the long term and keep it off, which is actually what most people want. The short-term methods are very appealing. You do get results, but in the long term, the consistent progress tends to be what people are actually after. But obviously, it's much harder to do that. It's not as rewarding. If you can't see the results, if you can't see the progress coming there and then you do start to feel impatient. And that's perfectly understandable. But it can apply to anything, whether that's studying, and it's better to revise over consistent periods than a quick short burst. But then again, everything is dependent on your circumstances. So don't just watch this video and if it's the night before your exam, say, oh, I haven't revised, so I'm not going to do any long bursts of revision. I'm just going to do one consistent question because that guy on YouTube told me to do it. But everything's circumstantial. So if you've got into a situation where you have to do quick bursts and very intensive things, then obviously you have to do that. But in terms of progressing towards a long-term goal, which is what people want to do, whether that's career success, academic success, or losing weight, or just anything really, it really is usually about that long-term consistent progress. So don't be disheartened if your progress is minimal but consistent, because that's actually better than short-term, bigger but inconsistent. Okay, so I just thought I'd leave you guys with those three thoughts, and I hope you guys have had a great day. And be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe, especially if you found this helpful. And again, if you enjoyed this, be sure to check out my books and other things. Follow me on the social medias and all the links below. Share this with anyone if you think it can help them. And I've been working on a couple of things in the background as well. I'm really excited to share with you guys. So take care, and all the best, guys. Stay safe.